Good morning and welcome to Gauntlet Con 2018. You will be joining us today for Dungeon Planet Camp Under the Stars. Joining me today are my lovely guests. We'll go ahead and start with Daniel. Daniel, go and introduce yourself and then introduce your character, please.
Hi, my name's Daniel. I'm a big fan of Dungeon World and sci-fi in general, so Dungeon Planet is right up my alley. Let's see. My character is Orion, a humanoid. Looks basically human except bald and like 8 feet tall, sort of thing, from outer space. Wearing an alien uniform and generally behaving very strangely. He's here supposedly to keep dangerous things from those who would abuse them. And he has control over space, so he can like reach through portals and like grab things that are far away. With enough effort, he can make portals that people can travel through. He can also apparently foretell future events from the stars. My flags are compete with me when I display my advanced alien technology or understanding, or subtly inquire about why I am here instead of with my people. I have a a strange weapon, which I'm calling the Void Sword, which also has 3 charges. Ultralight armor, and bizarre adventuring gear, which is subtly different and probably far superior than your adventuring gear. That's me.
Thank you, Daniel. Would anyone else like to go ahead and introduce themselves at this point? All right, Jesse, go ahead and step up to the plate. Introduce yourself and your character, please.
Okay, I am playing. My name is Jesse. My pronouns are he, him. And I am playing Fit the Sagacious, pronouns are also he, him, the Charlatan playbook. I'm a space elf, which basically means like some repurposed Vulcaneers somehow or another ended up in the pockets of the producers of this program, and so that's what I'm using as my costume. And otherwise, I'm wearing kind of a cheap suit. I look a little bit shifty, a little bit unkempt. The concept is like heavily based on Zaphod Beaverbrox from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy books, if that helps. I am like here to create. I am about giant Rube Goldberg schemes, and out to make an enormous amount of money through them. So it's possible I'm with this group under false pretenses. When we get to the premise, we can figure out exactly whether that works or not. And my flags are: believe and act on a lie I've told you, follow a plan that benefits me while believing it's your idea, and offer me a high-risk, high-reward plan that I cannot resist. Possibly also that cannot exist.
Okay, thank you. And Jen or Emily, which one of you would like to go next?
I could go. I'm Jen. I go by they, them pronouns, and I'm playing Pothos Shift Clipping ETS-05V. They'll go by Pothos, and they go by they, them pronouns are really whatever you say at them. They are a sort of vine creature that was created in order to mimic various races and embed. Their look is sort of a 80s androgynous gray. That's sort of the character who's supposed to be very middle. And they have some vine-based mutations. And as they're very new to things, their flags are to tell me a lie I believe, allow me to break a rule, law, or custom of the place we are in so that I might learn more through my mistakes, and get into a dangerous situation that I can protect you from.
Excellent. I, for one, welcome our new vine creature overlords. Emily, please introduce yourself and your character.
Hi, I'm Emily. I go by she, her pronouns, and I'm playing Pris, who is an android. Also she, her pronouns. She's wearing foil clothes that look like those thermal blankets that you put on people when they have hypothermia, and she's got slick back hair. She's an android, which means her machines can't be removed from her body without causing her harm, but they are 0 weight. She's basically like a space RoboCop. She uses her machines to punish criminals. And yeah, her flags are: offer me an easier solution I must refuse on principle, ask me to examine an important object, and ask my advice in making a place defensible.
All right, so our intrepid crew sounds ready to go. You are all members, or possibly in the case of one of you, acquaintances and a special guest of Captain Jerk of the Interplanetary Federation of Planetary Explorers, FOP ship Jupiter 9 in space. Your mission this week is to visit the planet colony of Vega-7 and escort Fit the Sagacious on his very critical and important role of providing supplies to the colonists that live on this planet, for they are researching a cure for a vast and deadly disease. Would someone like to name this disease? Remember, it is deadly, it is terrible.
It is the space gaze. It turns your eyes black, and you can communicate it by looking into the eyes of its victims.
Love it, love it. This is also going to keep our budget low because we have a ton of black contacts in the back from that failed Alien Invader movie. Perfect. So, the Vega-7 disease, known as space gaze. Opening crawl happens. We have the credits. We see each of your characters with, played by, and then your actor name underneath. It goes black, and then we open up around a planet, ship orbiting, being held up by little, very obvious fishing wire. Go ahead, Daniel.
I was just making a credit pose.
Oh, okay. Yes, definitely. When your character is on screen, make sure to show off. Your actor needs to make sure they get hired for something else as quick as possible, because the Jupiter
is gonna get canceled.
The Jupiter 9. Yeah, the Jupiter 9 gets canceled and renewed in a very random pattern.
It's got a very loyal following, though.
The DVD box sets always sell out, all 10 of them. Anyway, so we zoom in on the Jupiter 9, and it looks almost like the bridge of the Enterprise, except they've flipped it around so it can't get hit with a copyright. And sitting in the chair is the intrepid Captain Jerk. Stardate 7654-3. We have arrived at the colony planet of Vega-7. The colonists here are involved in a race against time to understand and cure the deadly disease, space gaze. My crew members have been down with the merchant, Fit the Sagacious. He has been recommended by the Federatory Order of Planetary Explorers as one of their highest and most trusted merchants. Though I have my doubts about the man. Leans over, presses a button. Pris, how are things down on the planetary surface? And the scene cuts, and we see all 4 of you freshly beamed down onto the surface of the planet. Things normally at this point would be a peaceful report of how you got there, but instead you find yourself surrounded by swarms of these deadly Scorpobots. These metallic scorpion robots shooting lasers at the walls of the compound of Vega 7 itself. Chris, what do you report back to the captain, and what are you doing?
I'm trying to get behind cover and get my companions behind cover, namely Fit the Sagacious, because I need to protect him above all. And I go, Captain, appears there is some incoming bogies of the robot kind. Request additional backup, potentially some covering fire from the ship.
I'll send down a squad of security people as quickly as possible. In the meantime, hold out until help arrives.
Okay, I try to get everyone behind like a rock or something, just so we're out of sight. I don't want them to see us yet.
Oh yes, and you all are ducking for cover, but unfortunately, one of the Scorpobots turns and spies you all and lets out a ferocious rearing up on its mechanical hind legs. You can hear the hydraulics going on, and at that point, it starts advancing on you. But then the security detail beams down, 2 red shirts, and Jimmy, the red shirt, screams, "Don't worry, we will protect you," and is immediately blasted by a laser on the Scorpobot's tail. And he turns around and it's like, ah! And then falls down dead, a hole in his shirt. Let's see. Orion, what are you going to do seeing that such dangerous enemies are amongst you all?
I'm going to try to open up a portal. Actually, can I do that?
Sounds like you'd be possibly folding space.
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering if it's yeah, I'm going to try to open up a portal to the colony so that we can proceed with our mission while the ship deals with this. I am mission focused, but this may or may not work.
Okay. So go ahead and give me a roll plus wisdom.
That's going to be a 10.
All right. So go ahead and read me the move 10 plus result.
The space becomes connected. Anyone can move from one to the other with a single step across the folded space. And this fold lasts as long as you need it to.
Okay.
So we've got a more or less permanent doorway through into the colony. Or maybe it might be to where I can see. So it might be the entrance of the colony.
Yeah, it's definitely to where you can see. So it's the entrance door of the colony. This is at least going to get you past the vast bulk of the Scorpobot hordes. What does this look like on screen as you open up this great and mystic portal?
I think it's definitely the 2 screen things where you walk in and you disappear, and maybe some scratched film there to illustrate the portal. I think I actually pull out the void sword and carve that half of the screen, to create the fold.
Okay. All right. There is an open portal to safety in front of you all. Assuming you all start scrambling through. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you are now on the other side of the Scorpobot hordes. And as the portal closes, we see another red shirt get blasted by a Scorpobot laser. For the viewers at home, this is the exact same footage of Jimmy getting killed about 10 seconds earlier. We don't have a lot of money to spend on that. So, and so now at the front of the doors, you turn and see that the base defenses and lasers from the ship are slowly whittling down the horde. But there are still 2 Scorpobots that are so close that trying to hit them with either of those weapons would damage the base itself. Porthos, you have seen these things shoot your crew members, your friends. How are you feeling about that?
I have been interested observing the way they fight.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we've used up the special species that the ship carries to absorb damage, the red-shirted ones, I feel I should step in.
All right. Tell me what you are doing and how are you stepping up to protect the rare and endangered red shirt species?
I would like to whip out a vine and snag one of the scorpions by the tail.
Okay. It's not going to be hard. They're big and easy to catch. The problem is they're kind of strong. So go ahead and defy danger either with strength if you're going to try to overpower it, or con if you're planning to like just try to hold it and outlast it.
Okay, I will do con. So that is 10.
All right, a 10. So tell me what this looks like on screen. Tell me what the special effects are.
So someone clearly got a deal on fake vines at the Michaels Crafts, and so it's sort of a shot of a little bit of vine coming out of the sleeve, and then a cut to just vine moving across, like a stop motion of vine rolling across the ground, and then another shot of the vine wrapped around the tail of the scorpion.
Okay. And you have got yourself a scorpion by the tail, and it's like, and we can hear like the hydraulics. Really, we just recorded the garage door that day. It was not having it. Like, you all had to actually walk into the studio instead of like get driven in on the golf carts. It was terrible. It was like 100 degrees in California that day. And so now you've got this Scorpobot caught, but there's still the other one, and it sees what you're doing, and it has identified you as its biggest threat. And its tail has like beep, 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 and there's this green glowing particle glow over it. Chris, you can see this happening, and you know that Porthos is just having to hold still to keep this other Scorpobot at bay. What are you going to do?
Let's see what I got in my arm.
Okay, so we have a shot of you pulling up your arm, and a little control panel flips open, I assume? Or are you going for buzzsaws?
No, the control panel flips open. Let's see if I'm reading this right.
Okay.
I want to flip open the control panel, and a little turret comes out of my hand folds down. It's clearly a fake hand. And then in my wrist, there's a little pipe. And I press a button to fire a laser beam.
All right. And pew pew. So that's going to be aiming. So give me a roll plus dex. Or are you doing your operate machines, in which case it would be a roll plus int?
It's an operate machine because it's one of my operations.
Okay. So give me your roll and then add your int, which is going to be +2.
Because 2d6, right?
Yes, just 2 dice 6. And let me know if you need the roll for your party link again.
Okay, so 13.
13. All right. That is going to be a solid hit. Go ahead, and it's the introduction scene. So you take the shot, and the scorpion tail explodes, and there's sparks, and it goes and like rears back and starts running off in fear. And Fit, at this point, you've been kind of like you've been kind of like hanging back. You know, fighting scorpion bots is not really your jam, I assume. Is that right?
That is correct. I have been cowering sort of behind mostly what are their names? Sorry, Pris and Pothos.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like seeing them as my protectors.
Okay. And you've been hanging back. You're at the entrance. You're kind of pressing against the door, and that's when you notice the little intercom panel. And it's just like any other space door. It's got an intercom panel because no one really answers the door these days when someone knocks.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I push the intercom button, like looking sort of. I have a terrified look on my face as I look behind it, and the camera. You can see that on camera as it cuts to me, but I don't know that anyone else sees it. Right? I'm like, and then in a voice full of confidence and imperiousness, I say, sorry, remind me the name of the Federation.
The Federated Order of Planetary Explorers, the FOPE, the FOP.
We are here. We are here. We are here. We are here on behalf of the FOP, with important medical goods that can help you in your search in your quest, in your researches. I just like keep on saying different synonyms, right? In order to cure the space gaze, please, for your own sake, you must let us in at once.
And so you press it and you start speaking, and bing bong, hello, intrepid explorer. Thanks for calling us today. Unfortunately, due to the scorpion bot attack, this door cannot open due to the automatic safety overrides unless there is a pressing and urgent need. You inwardly sigh because this is one of those automated computer friends that's set up to deal with mundane tasks like opening doors, and it is every salesman's worst nightmare because they all have anti-solicitation software normally installed. But you've got an in this time. You've got that we are here on behalf of the FOP. So how are you going to convince this thing to open the door for you?
What do I say? The pressing need is your own security and safety. We can turn around and walk away, and it would be a tragedy, and we would cry, and FOP's mission would go incomplete, and it would be terrible for all of us. But you need our supplies, and you need us. Let us in now, for your own sake.
All right, go ahead and give me a roll plus charisma.
Yeah.
Go ahead and sweet talk that machine.
I love the idea that I can con a machine. That's 8 plus 2 is a 10.
All right, a 10. Bing bong. Well, the importance and safety of this facility are our utmost priority in my programming matrix. Therefore, friend, I will go ahead and open up and let you all in. Please make sure to close the door behind you and wipe your feet as you come in, as we like to keep a sterile environment. Thank you for using Friend Computer 7.65A-B. Bing bong. And then the doors like slowly start opening.
Walk right through.
Okay. Walking in like you own the place.
Like I will soon.
And everyone starts running in, and who's hitting the door close button just to make sure that someone does it?
Probably me.
All right. All right. So, Chris, you run in and you slap that door close button. It looks like you're actually like clicking. It looks like you were clicking on opening the elevator and just they played it backwards. So
Does the wall shake when I hit it?
oh yes, the walls
Okay.
do indeed shake, because what's happening is as the doors close, there is this huge dent that appears in the door, and the facility rocks. And we get one of those shaky cam footages of like everyone, rocking back and forth and throwing themselves across the room.
Right.
And while you're on the floor, you hear your communicator watch as Captain Jerk is attempting to get in contact with you.
I press the button on it on my watch and say, "Yes, Captain."
Technician Priss, is everyone okay down there? We received reports on our sensors of a large energy outburst emanating from the facility itself.
Well, we have multiple casualties. Everyone you sent down here to back us up is dead. And we have entered the facility. However, I do not know of any energy release. We will investigate.
I understand the sacrifices of Ensign Redshirt will be remembered, and he and his family line will continue their duty. In the meantime, please make contact with Lieutenant Keegan and Dr. Merrimack. They're at the base. They are the ones in charge and should be able to fill you in on the details. Jerk out.
Yeah, Pris stands up and starts to like dust herself off and help everyone else up off the ground.
And as you're helping everyone off the ground, you notice at the edge of the corridor there's an old man like, well, I haven't had a fall like that since I was back on Jupiter riding one of them space Broncos. And older man, white lab coat, look, doing the I've fallen and can't get up move from every infomercial.
Hello, sir. Do you require assistance?
Yes, I greatly appreciate that. My lumbago's acting up, and I just can't get myself flipped over. Just most inconvenient tarnation thing. And you notice that over the lab coat that looks like there's a turtle shell. This is like one of those knockoffs from someone's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle things they threw on just to make him look alien.
Okay. I go over and I help him up.
Okay. And he stands up and, thank you so much. I'm Dr. Merrimack. I'm head of research at this facility. Who might you all be?
I walk right up, maybe even shouldering past Pris a little bit, and I extend my hand and I say, "Fit the sagacious sir, pleasure to meet you. We are here with critical medical supplies that will help you. That can help you cure the Vega 7 disease, the space gaze that I know has been so tragically decimating your people."
Oh, well, thank goodness you all have arrived. I have, this gaze thing has been complete terrible thing. I heard the entire colony of Rigel 7 all of them are locked gazing at each other now. It's terrible. And they also just aren't pleasant to look at, I'll tell you that. And he's chit-chatting and kind of doddering talking with you all, like telling you about Rigel 7 and how just the last time he was there, he had to wait 10 minutes in line at the Space Bucks for a cup of coffee. And isn't that just terrible? And isn't this sort of when suddenly over the intercom panels, all of you hear an alarm siren go off, and then this cool, calm voice. This is Lieutenant Keegan of the Vega 7 Colony Defense Force. We are under immediate lockdown. The Space Gaze virus research facility has suffered an explosion. The virus is now loose in the facility. Bum, 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 plays the music as everyone looks at each other. Cut to commercial break. So, I'm going to give everyone about 5 minutes to grab yourselves a little drink. Whoever comes up with the best/worst sponsor during our commercial break, I'm going to throw a little point of XP to, because I love coming up with terrible sponsors for this show. But we're going to take a quick break, and everyone be back at about 10:05. Okay? All right. See you all soon. Welcome back. How are you enjoying so far?
This is excellent and awesome.
I am glad to hear that. It is my goal to make sure that any Jupiter 9 productions are of only the highest quality.
Very, very, the ingenuity of the effects team never fails to amaze me.
They got a golden Razzie one year. That's how good they are. Originally, I came up with the idea for this because all my games, if I don't keep a tight hold on them, tend to end up running campy anyway. So I had to fill in one time, and I was like, screw it. We're going full camp. It's going to end up there anyway. I'm just going to start there and go further. I'm getting some beautiful, beautiful ideas here on the side for terrible, terrible sponsors. Loving them all. Liberator medical catheters, because of course, the people who need catheters are going to be watching this show. It's the target demographic.
The best part about that ad is that, like, the pitch is that you're like a small aircraft pilot, and so of course you need a catheter, right? Like that's they're interviewing these pilots. I used to always use this but like my guess is that's not who's watching the show most of the time, right? That's not who they're actually marketing these catheters to.
It's just kind of filler spots. Emily, you back among us?
I am back among you.
Huzzah!
I think there's actually a name for that black and white, like fumbling with things, like I can't hold multiple things, ad.
Like
that I love.
Somehow all my popcorn fell off the side of my armchair because I totally just rammed it with my arm.
There's got to be a better way.
I think it's the thing I always see is the as seen on TV label on it. So I just refer to them as the as seen on TV stuff now.
I also like the one where people can't figure out how to crack an egg without just smashing the egg on the countertop. It's also pretty good.
There's got to be a better way.
Jen, do you got one of our sponsors? Our terrible, terrible sponsors?
I haven't come up. I was furiously making coffee.
I mean, we can have a coffee sponsor.
It's coffee you can chew.
For when your coffee just isn't strong enough. It's like a tobacco coffee product. Kind of like dip. So, all right, everyone take an XP. I love these terrible, terrible sponsors of ours. And I will give you another XP if you somehow include them in one of your scenes. I mean, we got to pay for this show somehow, people. We need product placement everywhere, all the time. So the scene cuts back in after our commercial break. All four of you are seated around one of those fancy space tables with the egg-shaped chairs. And sitting there in front of you is Dr. Merrimack and the now revealed Lieutenant Keegan. They are a svelte female form topped with a white gorilla mask. And they have two other sets of arms attached to them, showing that they are very obviously one of the white apes of Mars. Some of the most deadly and yet disciplined troops in the universe. Lieutenant Keegan is standing up, showing you slides on the projector. Click, click. Unfortunately, in our attack this morning, we suffered a catastrophic failure in the laboratory area. It seems the enemy was attempting to pierce our defenses, possibly to gain a sample of the space gaze virus that has been weaponized in our research. Unfortunately, while we were able to keep them from getting that sample, the sample was released, and now everyone in this base is infected. As a matter of quarantine, no one will leave or enter this base any further. I am sorry that you all had to become caught up in this. We will attempt to make your stay as comfortable as possible.
It's truly tragic when young races meddle with things they don't understand.
If only those who are elders would deign to give us more of their experience. Yes, well, you can't cure a virus without breaking a few eggs, and unfortunately, this time the eggs have gone all over the floor.
Really, Orion? If our young races are so inferior, why do you even bother to come here and try to help?
Indeed, but I have my mission.
Go ahead and take an XP for triggering that flag. Yes, well, Lieutenant Keegan, are we able to get back in the laboratory yet? We can get access to the laboratory. The corridors are clear. However, unfortunately, the friendly computer system installed to assist our technicians and scientists has gone haywire due to the positronic matrix of its databanks suffering from the explosion. Unfortunately, it now treats anyone who enters in there as though they are not a researcher, but instead an experimental test subject. We've lost many red shirts attempting to retake the area. If only we had more people with scientific knowledge available amongst us. We cannot risk you, Dr. Merrimack, so I must request that you stay here in the command center with me.
I am both a science officer and an experimental test subject. Perhaps I should try infiltrating the lab.
We would greatly appreciate your help in this matter. In the meantime, while you attempt to assist us with that, we will finish business with Mr. Sagacious here for negotiation of the ovo-platinum that we require to finish our experimentations.
Yes, about the ovo-platinum. The quarantine may cause a bit of a hitch with delivery, I'm afraid. I think for the right price we can make it happen, but you're going to have to actually let it in.
We will burn that bridge when we need to.
Pathos, I will assist you. Perhaps my advanced technology can aid us.
Your wisdom would be most useful to the mission. I have a beginning of session move I'd love to roll.
Okay, go ahead and give me that roll.
Okay, it's for unstable mutations.
And I should have had you hit that before we started. My apologies.
Dice. Okay, that's an 8 plus con, which is 10. So
okay.
I believe I get to hold 3.
Excellent. And you get to spend those hold to change out one of your advantageous mutations. You use one of your advanced moves once for one roll, or you use one of your mutations without having to roll at all. So always pretty handy. What is Pris doing during all this? Everyone seems to kind of be pairing off to take care of this or that thing. What is catching Pris's eye here? Emily, are you there?
Oh, I'm muted. That helps.
Oh, sorry about that.
Can I, Dr. Kerrigan, I have a few questions for you. How how successful were you in creating a cure for the virus?
Well, Dr. Merrimack would know more of these specific details than I would, but according to the latest reports, we were 80% close to creating a possible cure for it. There were still some tests that needed to be run on humans, human samples.
Are those the tests that are currently being run on the red shirts?
We cannot be sure. None of the red shirts seem to be able to survive the process, and we are unable to get any information from the friendly computer program itself. It seems to keep telling us to relax and that it will protect us.
Okay. Is there a computer terminal I can access? I have some affinity with machines. She holds up her metal arm, which is just like spray painted silver.
You would need to get to the main central computer banks in the lab complex itself, but I believe your crew members would be suited for this task.
Very well.
Thank you all for your assistance in this matter. I will send one of our own red shirts with you to assist in this endeavor, but unfortunately we cannot spare more staff. Already there are riots breaking out among some of the more nervous population. And she presses the button, flips, and there's, there's a scene, on the video screen, there's, some people fighting in the commissary and punching each other. Viewers of the Jupiter 9 space program may recognize this scene from Episode 6, Attack of the Cafeteria Planet. And so I think we're going to see Fit and Dr. Merrimack and all of them on one end, and then everyone else kind of heading off towards the complex. Does that sound about right?
Okay. Yes, I think so.
Okay. Let's go ahead and deal a little bit with the complex first, and then we'll cut back over to Fit. So you all are walking down the corridors, heading towards the research area. And as you get closer, you're hearing this buzzing sound. Just this, like it starts off very low, and then as you get closer, it gets louder and louder. And then when you finally get to the door, and you like press the button to open it, again, that little reverse elevator piece of video, it's overwhelmingly loud in here. And you can see that this laboratory complex was part greenhouse for growing the necessary plants life to help it, part laboratory. You can see the bubbling beakers and glass vials and liquid shooting from one place to another. And for some reason, there's also fire shooting up in the air and giant buzzsaws going through the air, which is definitely not part of the normal complex, laboratory complex setup, at least in most FOP installations. As you all stand there taking this in, you hear a bing bong. Hello there! Thank you for coming to the laboratory complex of the Vega 7 colony. How can I assist you today? Are you here to volunteer for the human trials of the Space Gaze vaccine?
Hello, I am your experimental test subject.
Great! We are happy to have you here today. All three of you can take a step to the right and get on the conveyor belt, and you will be whisked to the testing facility. Please make sure to have all your forms filled out in triplicate, and the nurse on duty at the station will take them. And to your right, the conveyor belt flips and starts basically prepared to take you all away down this little corridor where there's flames and buzzsaws.
I kind of feel bad for mentioning this, since it seems like a subversion, but also I sort of want to poke at the flag for Priss.
Mm-hmm.
I can create a portal. Orion would basically say maybe we should just create a portal to bypass. I could, as far down the hallway as I can see, but I'm sort of poking the flag. Offer me an easier solution. I must refuse on principle.
Chris.
Pris like winces and says, "That may well be. However, we may cause more malfunctions in the computer's code if we subvert any of its expectations."
Yes, this is clearly the decontamination process that it expects.
Obviously, you are one.
I can't subvert its expectation matrix.
That could possibly cause a critical failure in its emotional diagrams. So, you've got this corridor full of deadly things. How are you all going to get past while still keeping within the boundaries of the friendly computer system here in Complex Alpha?
We're going to do a well-timed traversal sequence.
Love it. All right.
Maybe hack the conveyor belt, make it go faster.
All right. These are all excellent plans. So
basically, just fast forward the picture as we walk through the slow-moving obstacles.
All right. I'm going to need all of you to give me a defy danger, either dexterity if you're trying to deftly avoid these things, or defy danger. No, it's going to be dexterity. Just you're going to have to avoid it because I don't think any of you could really sit there and just take flame to the face. I mean, okay, maybe Pris could, but it would totally...
I'm made of metal.
You could, but it'll ruin the makeup, and the makeup artist is only here for like 30 seconds a day.
Oh, that's an 11 for Pathos.
Okay. Orion?
That's an 8 for me.
An 8? Okay. And what did Orion get?
It's weird. The last like 3 times I've hit submit, my dice haven't changed, the 4 and 4, but it says last roll was 7 or 10 or...
Yeah, the room can get a little wonky, so usually...
I'm going to try this one more time.
Okay.
Nope. Oh, wait, no, I'm hitting the wrong thing. Sorry. I'm hitting submit, not re-roll. Okay. That is a 6.
Okay. So here's what's going to go on. Pathos, you rolled an 11, yeah? You get through, and you're just like, I think how shows up on camera is you just dissolve into a bunch of vines and just kind of we just see the vines on the conveyor belt and get sped up so it looks like they're moving, and you just go underneath all the traps. Not a problem. Chris, you do try to tank it, like, because you're an android. You're like, it is buzzsaws. I have a buzzsaw. They will know I am one of their kind. And so you're going to get through the other side, and you had slick back hair. Now you've got buzz cut slick back hair. Like, we see you going down, and like one of the buzzsaws just, and it like, we see sparks across the top of your head. Go ahead and roll and take a die 6 worth of damage from all this. Orion, you see the spark.
Oh my gosh. I rolled a 6. That's not good.
No, but you get to minus armor, so you're going to take 5 damage. Okay. It hit some very critical circuitry in there, apparently. So
I hope you took your vitamin pills, chewables.
Yes. So what we see is Orion open up his FOP official space vitamins, since you're going to call those. So take an XP for that, and make sure you mark an XP for missing that roll. You see Pris arrive at the other end and like turn around like, it is perfectly safe to proceed now. Sparklers in the back just showing like the massive damage they've taken. And you're trying to be tricky, I think. You're trying to like, okay, I can just like pretend I'm going through it and just fold space and really avoid everything. And so you do that. and you get to the end. And it seems like everything's okay, but there's going to be a complication coming up here in a moment. Because when you get to the nurse's station, one, there's no nurse. There's just, pieces of a hacked up robot there that was the robot nurse. And you only see forms for 2 people. Because you didn't pass through the right sensors, it doesn't realize there's 3 of you. And it's now giving a warning about, test subjects are outside the weight tolerance limits. So that's going to be, so you're there facing down to the dreaded forms and measurements area. And the friendly computer voice is like, thank you for volunteering. Unfortunately, your combined weights are over our weight restriction guidelines. Please either lighten the load and turn off any gravitational belts you may have on, or please come back in 6 months' time to try again for our test subject research program. A complimentary mint will be dispensed on your way out. What do you all do as you're faced down with this terrible bureaucratic nightmare in front of you?
Can I go up to the terminal and request a recalculation?
Yeah. Yes, you can. So you sit down at the terminal, and there's a bunch of glowing, blinking buttons. What exactly are you asking for the recalculation? Because it's weighing everyone in this room.
Okay, I want it to weigh everyone in this room, but I want it to do it in a way that will maybe short circuit it. So I want it in like a different format, an arcane measuring.
All right.
Request manual override.
Units. Different units.
And like have a scale pop up.
Yeah.
All right. Go and give me the fighting your intelligence. This is definitely in your field of purview, so this probably shouldn't be too hard, unless something crazy and desperate pops up. Bum, bum, bum.
All right, so hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember my mods. 9?
A 9. So you're typing on the computer keyboard, tap, 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 and and it's offering you like measurements, pounds, stones, moon rocks, base 12, etc. It's like, okay, let's go with this one. If we up to base 12, obviously that'll give us enough weight tolerance to get everyone in here. And you do so, but the problem is that your unauthorized access and changing it to base 12 has also changed all the other parameters in the building to use this base 12 system. So you can hear from outside, like in the chemistry area, things starting to go boom as improper amounts of chemicals are starting to be added to each other. So there's nothing happening to you all directly yet, but this is going to be a problem that's going to come back and bite you all if things keep going bad.
Fantastic. We're going to need to do a hard reset on this computer. Power cycle it a little bit.
Oh, yes. Meanwhile, back in the control center, Fit, you're sitting there kind of, working out the details with Lieutenant Keegan and Dr. Merrimack. And, you've got forms in front of you. You've got numbers. You've been negotiating with them, I assume. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And while you've been doing this, Lieutenant Keegan is constantly checking her communications device. Like like looking, like, back when this was put on, this would have been, fancy technology. Ooh. And it seems to be like she's trying to do it surreptitiously. She doesn't want anyone to notice it, but you got those keen space elf eyes, So what are you doing about that? Are you letting her continue on, or how are you reacting to this?
I think I look her dead on in the eyes, maybe foolish under the circumstances, and I say, Lieutenant, is there something else that requires your attention at the moment?
Well, I have many duties here at the colony base, and with everything going on, I need to keep track of what's really requiring my attention. I mean, I'm here just to make sure that you don't fleece Dr. Merrimack out of everything that we've worked so hard for.
Have the riots that you've been discussing progressed? Is it getting worse?
We are managing to keep a sense of calm for the moment, but people are definitely worried, especially those that have families here in the colony itself. We've already had 3 people attempt to climb the wall to escape.
I have a certain... Might it not be comforting to them to hear that someone has come with supplies, with tools to help them cure this illness and save their families? Perhaps I noticed that your intercon system runs throughout the whole colony. Yes.
Indeed, it does, but it allows us to broadcast messages and emergency information as quickly as possible.
So, what if I addressed the colony, told them about how they're about to be rescued and saved? Might that not calm some of the unrest?
And Lieutenant Keegan leans back and strokes the gorilla beard with the arm that is actually one of the arms is actually real. The other arm is kind of flopping around underneath. And Dr. Merrick's like, well, that may not be such a bad idea, but on the other hand, if they hear that supplies are coming in, I mean, they may try to take them. I mean, it could be very dangerous. Have you? And he leans closer and is in your face, and as he's talking, there's a little spittle coming out just because he's his dentures are coming loose out of excitement. Have you done a lot of public speaking before to people that are panicking? I mean, I know that as you said, you were there during the Great Famine of Plagueis 9. I mean, and you were helping calming the crowds, but have you ever dealt with something like this before?
You've never heard the story of how I, Fit the Sagacious, single-handedly calmed the rioting crowds on, and I'm I almost can't say it. I'm so affronted, right? On Coriolis 72. You've never heard how I stood in front of the rioting mobs, murdering each other with their bare hands and claws, ripping out their throats with their teeth, and just with the power of my voice and the emotions in my heart, they were weeping and hugging each other and burying their dead hand in hand by the end of that day.
Well, wow, I didn't realize we had such a gifted and talented leader among us. Lieutenant Keegan, please give this man control of the intercom system. And Lieutenant Keegan is like, very well, Dr. Merrimack. If you will take responsibility for his actions, I will release command of the console to him. And she spins and presses a button, and a microphone pops up from underneath the table. And it's in front of you right now. So you are speaking to the colony itself.
Right. So the idea here is to get them on my side with probably lies, because I have nothing in fact. And to use as leverage in negotiating a price for this stuff that may or may not be useful. We'll find out.
We will. So give us a little bit of your speech and then roll plus charisma. And it sounds like you're going to be using your con artist here.
Yes. Hello, people of Vega 7. My name is Fit the Sagacious. I'm here with your leadership now. Dr. Merrimack and Lieutenant Keegan, your wise and strong and talented leadership, who are now in the process of talking with me as a representative of FOP to help cure your sick loved ones. We have the ordo platinum needed to help synthesize a cure. It's worked on several other colonies so far. Obviously, your physiology is slightly different, so it will take a little bit of work and time, but I'm just confident if you can keep calm and hold down the fort, that we will be able to cure everyone who is ill and restore them to your family and end the quarantine.
And in the background, like Dr. Merrimack is like, wait, we've already cured people? I thought we were still working on the vaccine. Like talking in the background, and all the rest of you can hear this speech going on. Feel free to throw in like your own little comments on it. And in the meantime, go ahead and make your roll and be prepared to let me know what you've made.
That is a 12.
Ooh, this is going to be beautiful. Commentary from the Peanut Gallery before I reveal the far-reaching implications.
We're truly fortunate to have such a great mind assist us.
I only hope we can live up to his message.
I'm very surprised that they were able to cure the virus in such a short time.
All right, and so your message is all across the colony, and people are, chanting your name as the new savior that will keep them from dying, that will save their children. And so things have calmed down quite a bit now. And so con artist on a 10 plus, you are successful and you gain +1 forward to the next move taken to deceive the same target. So your lies will continue building upon your lies. Make sure it doesn't fall down, because oh man.
Mm-hmm. So I think like maybe right before we cut to the other group, I look at Dr. Merrimack. I turn off the mic. I look at Dr. Merrimack and Lieutenant Keegan, and I say, "Well, now that that's settled down, we can talk about price."
Yeah, yes, you can. And as the camera pans away, it goes through one of the vents, and in the vent system, there is a small robo-scorpion, and its tail is up, but instead of a laser, it's got a little radar dish on it. Someone taped a colander over it, and it's doing the circle, dee, dee, dee. And outside of your all's viewing range, but across the way, we see a pair of hairy hands listening on a headset, and a voice goes, so they think they have the cure, but the cure is not really there. So I know they must be lying, and since I know they must be lying, they must be planning to implement the cure, and if they implement the cure, they will need supplies, and if they have supplies, I will take those supplies, and then I shall reign supreme over all the galaxy. Ha 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 ha. Cut. Back to the laboratory. Chemical, you can hear glass shattering as chemicals are bursting out. But you all have made it through the treacherous medical form exchange booth. And now you all have entered the main laboratory complex itself. And you can see various animals in various cages that are used for the experimentation process. You see Venetian mice, which are white lab rats with antenna duct taped to their heads. And you see Saturn orangutans, which are which are basically guys in monkey costumes with antenna duct taped to their heads. And of course, Vinicius Plutonian hounds, which looks like someone brought their pet chihuahua and they put antenna on top of its head. And all these animal sounds are coming out, and there are large mechanical hands moving all around, and you can see there's a doorway at the end. But this doorway is guarded by 2 security androids. What do you all do? Because you know you need to get through that doorway in order to get to the master computer switch.
What do these security androids look like? Do they look like human, like fake humans, like me?
They do indeed look like fake humans. They have a plastic mask over their face and the same kind of foil clothes as you wear.
Okay. I'm gonna walk over to them.
Okay.
And try to avoid any antennaed animals.
But the vicious Plutonian space hound is so adorable. Wagging its tail.
It's
No
definitely
pets
got some little
Space hound today.
styrofoam fangs attached to the sides of its muzzle.
Yes.
Does it have a unicorn horn?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not petting that right this moment. I go up to the androids and I curtly nod at them, and I say, "Hello, we need to pass through."
Mhm. And the space androids cross their space halberds in an X formation, blocking your entrance. None may enter. Only those with proper authorization may enter the master control system. Please present your...
I have proper authorization, and I feel like since she's like a space cop, she's got like a badge of some sort. She's got like a number. She shows the plastic maybe there's Sharpie on it badge, and then she rattles off 3.14159.
All right, so you're attempting to convince them that you totally have the access and ability to get into
I'm a
this thing.
space cop.
I know. Go ahead and roll me. You're trying to defy the danger here with charisma. You're actually trying to parlay with them, I think. So
okay.
So go ahead and roll plus charisma, and then we will take a
minus.
Yep, -1.
So 8.
8. Hey, that is not bad. So on the move sheet, parlay, when you have leverage on a character, manipulate them, roll plus charisma. On a hit, they ask you for something and do it if you make them a promise first. So what these security androids, they're tasked with taking care of the entire facility. And they've been sitting here keeping anyone from asking you. Oh, so they're going to let you through, but they want you to do something first. They want you to provide something. You've got your ID, but what do they need done? And I'm throwing this out to the crowd here. What do you all think these androids want for you all to take care of before they let you through? Like, well, we'll let you through, but we have to stay here and guard this door. Can you take care of blah? What do you all think? You got some exploding.
Recover an escaped specimen.
Ooh, that's not bad. What do you all think about that? Yeah, one of the research specimens has escaped, and it's one of the critical ones that we need to research the cure.
That makes sense to me.
The camera pans over to the one empty animal.
Yes.
It's extremely dangerous.
Yes, big biohazard sign on it. And so they need you all to recover this specimen. And so, Emily, what Earth-like animal does this creature most look like?
They really so they had the budget for about 5 shots of it, so it's a cougar.
Love it. And Jesse, how do we know this thing is not just an Earth cougar, but it's actually like a space cat?
So I think it has. I think what they've done is they've like intercut stock footage of a cougar, right?
Uh-huh.
So with like the 5 shots that they've got of their, and so like when you they've like cut it so that from certain angles, right, you can see that at the end of its tail, like those 5 shots have a spike at the end of its tail, and then all of the rest of them, the tail is like slightly off camera, and the backgrounds like are not at all our sets.
Love it, love it. And Jen, what? So a space cougar by itself is a dangerous threat, but what special genetic manipulation has been done in order to help cure the virus that has made this cougar even more deadly and dangerous?
The space cougar has hypnotic eyes, and it can break anyone's concentration with its own gaze.
Love it. And you all know it's a deadly, deadly creature because as you look in the cage it is broken out of, there are tons of skeletons. Almost like it was the end of Halloween sale at a Michael's and they just bought like 10 for $1. And so that is what you all need to do. You need to find this deadly space cougar and fit. At this point, you've finished negotiations and you've got a nice little, delivery bonus awaiting for you. But that's and so you flip on the monitor to see how your companion is doing, because like, hey, they need to hurry up so we can finish the delivery. You got other people to scam. And that's when you notice on the screen that stock footage of like the cougar stalking across the prairie, but they've put a table in front of it so it looks like it's walking on a table or something. And of course the tail's out of shot. And like it turns and its eyes like flash as though it knows it's being watched. What are you going to announce to your comrades over your inter-party communication system, letting them know that this dangerous creature is loose in the room with them somewhere? Can't hear you at all. Sorry.
You got me now?
You're very faint and echoey, but we can hear.
We'll see what we can do in a minute. But for now, so we were talking before about communicator watches to communicate with Captain Jerk. So I think my communicator watch is a pocket watch. So I reach into my to my jacket pocket. I pull it and I say, it looks like an old timey pocket watch, and I say, it seems like there's a dangerous specimen loose in the lab, showing up on our monitors here at Central Control. Be on guard for it. Some kind of space cougar or something. I don't know. Looks dangerous.
What was that, Fit? I can't hear you through the static. Danger? Lab?
Dangerous creature, yes.
Yeah, I adopt a defensive pose and I scan the lab to try to find where this thing is lurking. You're muted.
Okay. And
damn these intercoms.
Yes, the attack has definitely damaged the intercom system here. And so all three of you are aware that the space cougar is somewhere in this room. And so Orion, you are scanning the room, looking for any sign of the danger that could be there. go ahead and roll me plus wisdom. Sounds like you are going to be discerning some realities here.
I believe that is a 10.
A 10. All right.
Yes.
You get 3 hold. You can spend those to ask any of these questions here, and you can hold on to that to delay as long as we're in this scene.
What here should I be on the lookout for?
Well, the Space Cougar is the big thing that you are looking for in Escape, but that's not what you should be on the lookout for. What you should be on the lookout for is more of those like little mechanical things that, you know, normally you wouldn't have to worry about, you know, random needle arms or random buzzsaw arms coming out of nowhere. But with the Master Computer all messed up, really that's going to be your big issue. Not the Cougar itself, but the environmental hazards here. Especially now that, you know, you've got chemicals cooking off.
What here is useful or valuable to me?
Well, what's useful or valuable to you is there is an entire vial of Space Cougar perfume. And these pheromones can be used to lure a Space Cougar to a location of your choosing. You can only use it once, though.
Okay. So the Cougar is somewhere in this room?
It's somewhere in this room complex. Yes. So
right.
You're in like the laboratory area, but it's not, hey, you're in a small quarter. It's like a... Oh.
Okay.
It's like a much bigger area where like 10 or 20 people would be working. And of course, there's boxes and tables and shelves and everything, and a little back archive area.
Yeah. What here is not what it appears to be?
What here is not as it appears to be.
And I have this idea that basically, you know, we're going to go somewhere, or I don't know if I can create a portal that follows me, but like a portal to that cage or to a cage, and then toss the pheromone through. And you know, when the Cougar is lunging for us, you know, to try to get it to go through the portal into the cage.
Okay.
That's like my plan A.
Okay. What here is not as it appears to be. I think what is not as it appears to be is you're looking around and you're checking like various vials and seeing what's here, and you find looks like they're not just cooking up, you know, vaccines and antidotes here, but it also looks like they're cooking up like a bunch of basically space steroids, like these little vials that are labeled like, you know, strength of the bull and eyes of the eagle and, you know, grace of the fox. Like, looks like they're actually distilling various animal essences here that can be used as performance enhancing drugs. Someone's made their own little meth lab here among it, I guess.
Yeah, I would definitely say, I believe, these chemicals have been outlawed by FOP, and there are many questions to be answered, and make sure the other people know. I guess I can't. I mean, this is a show kids watch, so I can't really pick up any of those. Yeah.
Yeah, they aren't going to do anything for y'all, but it's like there's something underhanded going on here.
Yeah. When will science learn?
I'll have to make some arrests.
Yes, you will.
But yeah, I'm definitely taking the pheromone, and I will discuss my plan with my friends,
Okay.
and we will go cougar hunting.
Yes, you will. This is the 70s. No one knows what that means yet, but oh man, the message boards in the modern era.
Actually,
like this.
Pothos. Can you like T1000 through the cages?
Sure, I can turn into vines.
And what would be cool is if like we could use you as bait, and you would run into the cage and then out of it, and leaving the cougar in there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I give Pothos the pheromones.
Okay. And Pris, what are you going to be doing? Like, do you have a little?
Can I?
Hmm?
What can I think of? What would attract it other than the pheromones?
Yeah, that sounds like you're going to be spouting some lore about space cougars. So, go ahead and give me first of all, tell me what you think is true about them, and then I'll have you make the roll.
What's true about space cougars?
Yes. What do you think is true about space cougars that's going to be useful?
Well, to help us out, I hope they're vegetarian. They also don't like fire and are generally, let's see. They're aquatic. They're like semi-aquatic.
So space cougars are almost these like mossy lily pad creatures then.
Yeah.
It sounds like. All right. Go ahead and roll plus intelligence. Let's see how on the dot you are with this information.
Okay. 8.
All right. So for spout lore on an 8, I'm going to give you something interesting about them. You are right that these, you believe all this to be true, but what is actually correct is that these space cougars are made out of some sort of plant life, much like Pothos. In fact, Pothos, unbeknownst to you, you have space cougar DNA in you. That sounds like we've got all the pieces of the plan. We're going to use these pheromones to lure it. We're going to use a combination of portal and T1000 through the cages to get through it. And Pris is going to contribute her deep knowledge of space cougars to help wrestle this beast. So what I think how this is going to work is I'm going to want one of you to tell me how you're initiating this plan and who is going to be the primary person helping you.
I guess that's me and Pothos.
Okay. So you're going to be rolling plus wisdom because you're using kind of an application of your fold space.
Yeah.
But before you do that, Pothos, what I need for you to do, or are you going to be using one of your moves from the unstable mutations to T1000, or are you planning to actually roll for it? Or actually, you're doing aid. Sorry. You'll be aiding Orion. So
okay.
I want you to roll 2 dice 6, and I'm gonna be giving you a +1 forward on this because you've got all this information. You all are set up. So this is just to see if you give Orion a bonus on his roll. And what did you get?
I got 8, and is that adding anything?
Yep. So if you rolled an 8 +1, that's going to make it a 9. So Orion, you're going to get a +1 forward, but Pothos is going to be sharing in any danger and risks that may come from this roll.
Sounds like she's getting most of the danger, honestly. She's the one covered in pheromones and going into a cage.
True.
Sitting in a cage like a tasty snack.
But yeah, I jump up on the table, and one of my adventuring gear is a is a playback, a futuristic playback device, and it initiates the mating call of the cougar, and then I quickly turn around to open up another one of these portals with my void sword.
Okay. Go ahead and give me the roll. You have a +1 on it.
Oh, we reset the room.
Yep.
So that's a total of 8.
All right. It's an 8. So this is going to be a success with cost or complication. So you play the mating call, and Pothos is covered with the pheromone, and this is just going to drive this space cougar wild. Like, space cougars cannot resist this scent. Here's the problem. You don't know where the cougar is going to come from. You're assuming it's coming from one general direction, but instead, as you open up the portal where you and Pris are, that cougar is actually leaping off one of the tall shelves down onto you all. It's going to go through the portal. It's going to go through there, and Pothos is going to bat. But either yourself or Pris is going to get trapped in the cage with it. Which one are you going to push Pris out of the way, or are you going to get yourself out of the way?
So I don't know if I like push them, but I think it's more interesting to see the robot fight the cougar. So maybe they push me out of the way.
Yeah, I think she would do that.
All right.
Okay. So Pris, tell me how this goes down on camera as you valiantly sacrifice yourself to save Orion from the deadly space cougar.
She's in the middle of like looking up on her arm screen, Google about space cougars, and then looks up and sees a cougar inbound, and she shoves Orion out of the way and sort of like spreads her arms like, "Come take me, cougar," and then like folds them both into the portal.
And there's this like neat little scratch film where you both end up in the cage.
Yeah, the grain pops out a lot when they do the special effects shots.
Oh yeah. And so you are now trapped in this cage with the space cougar. And that's not all. As you land in the cage, the automated system starts winching this cage up and taking it down the testing belt. Fit, back in the control area, you see that the space cougar is slated for special experimentations and then immolation. So not only are they going to get experimented on, they're going to make sure that the space cougar can't spread the disease by accident by getting burned up. Are you going to give this information to the rest of them over the terrible intercom system? And what are you planning to do about this? In the background, Dr. Merrimack's like, oh yes, I forgot. We incinerate all our experiments at the end of it. Saves on the cleanup cost and return shipping.
Dr. Merrimack, is there any way you can shut off the immolation setting?
Oh well, I mean, we can try turning off the furnaces. That would just dump them in the bin, and then wouldn't set them on fire, and they could probably get out afterwards. But it's going to take time, and it's a two-man system. I'm going to need your help on this.
Whatever it takes, Doctor. We've got to get them out of there.
Okay.
Yep.
And so both of you are frantically pressing at your keypads in front of you. Go ahead and give me a Defy Danger Intelligence or Defy Danger Wisdom, whichever you would be drawing more on. And tell me how you know about colony incineration system operations. Why are you familiar with this?
So, I was once trying to the very, very beginning of my career as a intergalactic traveling salesman and the general outfitter. I started out working for a company that made all kinds of trash removal systems, and very quickly learned that the ones that sold best were the incineration systems. So I tried to get myself up to speed on those as best as possible.
Okay. And that knowledge and experience is helping you out here very well. So go ahead and tell me.
A 10.
A 10. All right. So Pris, good news. You're not going to need to worry about being burned up. Here's the problem.
Okay.
You're trapped in a cage with a space cougar, and it is giving you the eyes. It's got those Betty Davis eyes. Betty Davis being renowned as one of the most fierce killers of the galactic community. So it has
Oh no,
got
not
you.
Betty Davis.
I know. And so it has got you in its sights, and it is staring you down, and you can feel the mental compulsions to just, you should let yourself go to sleep and remove any armor you have. And it's basically trying to paralyze you so you can't fight back. How are you trying to shake off this mental compulsion? Which what kind of space cop training do you have to deal with the psychic attack?
I think it's sort of like when you capture an operative and they just repeat their ID number over and over again. She just starts saying her name and her badge number and but also doing something strange and spacey, which in this show they only really have the budget to pay her to spin around in a circle.
Perfect. And we can see you doing this, and superimposed over you is the image of a cougar staring at you and those shiny eyes in the dark. And so go ahead and give me Defy Danger Wisdom.
Okay, great.
Because you're trying to use your mental fortitude to fend off this vicious psychic attack.
We're gonna roll with all my terrible stats.
Yes.
Oh, that's a 3.
That's a 3. So go ahead and mark yourself an XP.
Okay.
And let's see. You've got your protective utility suit on, which is going to help you. But you're spinning around, and then you just kind of do that, fall, and now you're on the ground. And the cougar is slowly pacing towards you. And you're still awake, and you know this is coming, and you're still trying to fight it. So, you're on the ground no. Very, very dramatic and very Academy Award winning, hopefully. Hopefully this will let you get that next role for the movie you're really trying to get in. This is just a bit part to make ends meet. But tell me about this protective utility suit you have. It's written down as 1 armor. Why is it protective, and how is this going to help you fend off this vicious cougar attack?
I think it's kind of like less bulky football padding. It's just sort of plastic. You can see it poking out from underneath her foil clothes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really that high tech. It's really just plastic plates in important spots.
Okay. So, all right. So it's going to make it a little tough to chew through in any of the vital areas. This is going to be good. Yeah. So, Orion, Pothos, your friend, your comrade in arms, is in the grips of a vicious, deadly space cougar attack. And this cage is trundling along a conveyor belt up near the ceiling.
Am I in the cage?
UT-1000 out as part of the plan. But you are a vine creature, so you can try to like get back in there once you notice what's going on.
It seems like one of my compatriots is in need of defense from me. So I'm going to climb into the cage via vines.
Okay. Are you spending another move to just do it, or?
I'll spend one of my hold, yeah.
Okay. All right, so that should put you at 1 hold now. And so we see Priss on the ground and the deadly space cougar slowly coming towards you. And then suddenly the camera cuts to these vines coming along the bottom of the cage. And then Pothos is there, ready to protect their friend and comrade. What are you going to do as you face down this deadly space cougar?
I'm going to wrestle a cougar. I'm going to try and wrap it up with vines and hold it away from her.
All
Wrestle that cougar.
Little known fact, in Gauntlet League Wrestling, there is in fact the wrestling cougar, and they will never admit it, but they watched this episode, and this is what started them down their career path.
Is this a what move would this be?
You can burn another hold, and that'll be the last of it for your advantageous mutations. Or you can roll defy danger, either probably strength to try to hold the cougar down with your own strength.
I'm going to roll defy danger strength.
Okay.
And that is an 8.
An 8. So you're going to wrap your vines around the cougar. And that's great. You've got it held. But the problem is that the cougar is going to smell those pheromones on you. And you've got a little space cougar DNA in you. So it thinks that you're a rival for it. And so now it's going to focus all its attentions on you. And so it's going to try to lash at you with that spiked tail. And that spiked tail is just whipping around towards your face now. How are you going to handle this situation?
I'm going to sort of throw myself out of the way very dramatically into a roll.
All right, go and roll me a defy danger dex.
Okay. Okay, that is 9, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, 9.
Okay. So you're still kind of constricting it, and you move out of the way of the spiked tail, but you're going to lose your grip on the cougar. Just you had to let go and move so quickly. Just it's come unwrapped. It's managed to get away while you were distracted. Orion, down on the ground, you can see the cage rocking back and forth, and you know it's moving very violently, and it's sagging a little. It was only really meant to hold a certain amount of weight, and now it's got 3 people in it. And to make matters worse, it's over like one of the big chemical vats that is like, glowing green and shooting up fumes, and you can hear things sparkling and crackling over it. What are you going to do about this situation? Because if that cage keeps rattling around, it may fall in this vat of deadly chemicals.
I feel like my obvious answer should be I'm going to create another portal to get up there or get my friends out. But I don't know. I think for product placement, I'm going to use another one of my amazing advanced technologies. And basically send a Batman-style grappling hook up to the cage and over something and tangled in the cage, such that when it falls, it's gonna swing. I think. Okay. I remember in Batman, he grappling hooked a room-sized vault once, and I'm like, how strong is that cable? Yeah.
I mean, your bizarre adventuring gear is, from another world, from a more advanced civilization. Obviously, you can support room support huge cages off of a single grappling line.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to secure the cage with my amazing grappling hook technology,
Okay.
which is available in stores.
All right, roll me. Go. We're going to say you just do that, and it's a good thing too because all of you inside the cage feel it go ka-chunk, and it has stopped moving, and it is gone from straight up and down to it is listing, and everyone's going to go flying against the side of the cage. And Chris, you're going to get to look down. That you're shaking off that psychic attack. It's no longer focusing on you, and you get to see this giant vat full of deadly chemicals underneath you.
Okay.
How are you feeling about this situation?
Not entirely great. I've seen robots disappear into vats of chemicals before and didn't end well for them. So what's the cage look like? Can I fit through the bars?
Yeah, sure. It's a generic cage where like the bars are big enough for non-cougar things to slip out through.
Okay. And we're still dangling above the vat where it like fell down a little bit, but we're not in it.
Correct.
Okay. I think I'm gonna do a probability calculation.
Okay.
And I want to know how good of an idea it is, I guess, if I slip out of the cage and climb and like zip line along the grappling hook line to safety. Will that work?
I mean, if you were any of these organic races, this would probably be a terrible idea because organic races, when faced with the possible advent of their own mortality, will start excreting liquids from themselves, which makes their grip very loose. But
Right.
since you're a
I don't have
superior,
that problem.
you're a superior space android. You've got that iron grip, and as long as you make sure to apply the proper pressure in the proper area, you're going to be able to zip line out of there no problem.
Okay. I will non-verbally gesture to the grappling hook, and then I'm gonna like make eye contact. Does Pothos have eyes?
Yeah,
I mean,
Pothos looks like
Okay.
a person.
Oh, but just a vine person.
A person with slightly green makeup who occasionally has like vines taped to their sleeves.
Okay. Okay. I gesture to the grappling hook line, and then I'm gonna step out of the cage carefully and grab onto the zip line and zip line myself down.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a defy danger dexterity, just to make sure that you can weave your way around without taking a tumble.
Okay. And my probability calculation says I can take +1 forward when I act on the information that I get from it.
Yep. So you're getting a +1 to this roll as well, so
Alright,
that
cool.
should be a total of +2.
Cool. 9.
A 9. So you're going to hop on this zip line, and you are going to zip down and land right next to Pothos, which is great, and it's a wonderful thing you got out of that cage when you did, because the last buckle on it breaks, and now both Pothos and the Space Cougar are being held up only by this grappling line, and so both you and Orion are holding onto it for dear life.
Oh dear. Okay.
Fit, you've stopped the incinerator and you're watching all this play out on the control screen monitor. Now that grappling point is held onto the original conveyor belt, and it has stopped moving. And it only needs a little further to go. If you could somehow gently push it further to get it to like safe to that next little catway, just it would be out of the way of those deadly chemicals. what is your plan to help out your comrades from this far distance?
So I think the idea here is I look disgustedly at Lieutenant Keegan and Dr. Merrimack, and I say, I don't understand how this lab gets anything done. Look at these contraptions. So and I just start like hammering away at the keyboard, muttering technobabble under my breath.
Okay.
You know.
Oh yeah, and so I think that you're like you're trying to take control of the situation here and keep them from like making things worse, because they're both kind of panicked looking, and like Dr. Merrimack is like pressing buttons, and in fact he accidentally hit one that caused the cage to do an emergency stop, which put it in this precarious position.
Really, Doctor? Really?
So
I have
go
waited
ahead.
you to take the Ordo Platinum and turn it into the cure we need, and now I don't know. We may have to bring in our own people. This is not looking good for you, Dr. Merrimack.
Okay. So, and like you're accusing Dr. Merrimack, and Lieutenant Keegan is like getting ready to blow up at you. Go ahead and go roll Defy Danger Charisma, because she's about to like shove you away from the keyboard. Like you two are like starting to fight over the keypad and the control system, because she's like, how dare you sully the name of such a great man? You're nothing but a cheap salesman. Like, you know, you may have a way, you may know your way around a sale, but you know nothing about the proper sciences. And you know, so go ahead and try to diffuse the situation, and like and you're getting that +1 forward still from being a con artist. Like,
so that's an 8.
Okay, so an 8.
I think
so. You're gonna keep them from screwing up things more. You got them under your thumb for now, but Lieutenant Keegan is like shooting you this death glare. Like, you know you've pissed this person off, and so you're gonna need to watch your back around them.
And I look at her and I say, you don't get to be as expensive a salesman as I am without knowing a little bit about what you sell and how it works.
And you press a button on the keypad, and that's going to get the cage moving again to a safe location. And you're just going to sit there triumphantly as they see it on the view screen. Pothos, the cage has started moving again. You and this cougar are like thrown on the side. You've got a moment that you can do something. The cougar's like, you know, kind of rattled from being thrown around so much and is a little disoriented. What are you doing?
So, while I was wrapping this cougar in my vines, I think I recognized something of my DNA structure in it. And so there's a close cut to my face as I'm using my last hold to sort of unlock my ability to do the hypnosis eyes. I'm going to replace one of my monster moves.
Okay. And so you're going to turn this.
Yeah, adopting a pose like the tiger, I square off against, or the cougar. I square off against it, and we circle each other in the cage, facing each other with hypnosis eyes.
And I think this time we're going to see the space cougar, and we're going to hear that wow, wow. But this time it's Porthos's face superimposed over the cougar. And the space cougar is like held entranced by your gaze. Yes, in some of the stock footage, it's instead of a cougar. In fact, that's the sound. They played like the tiger sound instead of the cougar.
Yeah.
And so on the fan theory boards, it's like, well, space cougars are actually a hybrid of cougars and tigers, and Yeah, this would explain why in episode 7. So you got this space cougar locked down, and as the cage like gets set and finally like gets over safe ground, Pris and Orion, their muscles and hydraulics like crying out, let go of the cable, and you bump onto the floor, and you're able to extract yourself safely, backing away from the space cougar while it stares at you. And once that breaks, there's a moment where the space cougar realizes what it's lost as well.
Aw, so sad.
Yes. But you have successfully caught the space cougar, and you all are safe and sound for now. And as the two guardian androids pull back their space halberds, allowing you access to the master computer control center, the camera pans back and changes scenes, and we see the complex of Vega 7 in the distance, and then there's dust rising, and you can see this on one of your security monitors. There is a giant crab-like creature slowly approaching the base. Bum bum bum. All right. Let's go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break, and then we will launch into the finale of this amazing episode. Again, please feel free to suggest terrible sponsors for this show, or what the second commercial for your first terrible sponsor is going to be. I will be more than happy to award you an XP for that. And be back in about 5 minutes, so 11:32. Welcome back.
How's it going?
So far, so good. I am ready to start our third and final act of this daring and death-defying space drama. Okay, looks like we've got everyone back in. So we are coming back from commercial break. Did we have any new sponsors this time?
You've all enjoyed the the science officer Pathos Grow Your Own. Now, special limited edition Jaguar. And it's just shots of like a chia pet in the shape of a jaguar, and also or cougar. And also there's the one in the shape of it's vaguely in the shape of Pathos.
Really?
No recognizable features.
Really, it is a jaguar. They just like sharpied over the name.
Maybe one quick scene during the fight was actually of a house cat playing with a Pathos action figure. I did an ad for generic purple stuff. You see it in other commercials, but you never see its commercial. We all know that the best sugar candies are the purple grape flavored candies. So when you want sugar water, why not purple stuff?
Love it. Love it.
I've got one stock footage of an airplane flying over a city skyline. Cut to a person in a pilot's cap and one of those like kids plastic pilot wings you get. They used to get when you give to kids when they fly, and this pilot is saying, "Dating is so hard when I'm constantly flying from city to city. If only there was a website that could help me find someone." And then, right, lovefromabove.com, dating site for pilots.
Helping you make your connection.
Yes.
Good. This is sort of similar to Jen's, I guess, but like the general car insurance commercials. So it's like that, except it's a terribly superimposed space cougar.
Loving this.
And it's like badly animated talking, selling car insurance, and the voice is Captain Jerk's voice.
Remember, when you need protection from anything that may come your way, call Space Cougar today.
Can I just also I want to add that, like, literally in the last 24 hours during Gauntlet Con, I've heard like the expression twice of "it's mating season" and they think you're a rival. Like, and the first time I thought, like, oh crap, that's never happened before.
It's all those Space Cougar pheromones in the air.
Oh my god.
Please tell me that was a Jason game that you were in.
No, it wasn't actually. JD game.
Good enough. All right. So we cut back, and Captain Jerk's voiceover as we see again the Jupiter 9 fly by on the planet with the fish streams. Stardate 675.3 follow-up. My crew has successfully retaken control of the facility. However, before they can come back up, and they must create the cure. Before that, however, they are facing down what may be the toughest fight of their lives. And we cut back to the control room where all of you have gathered now. Dr. Merrimack and his staff have gone and are frantically working on the virus itself, and Lieutenant Keegan has pulled up on the view screen the giant crab robot that is very slowly approaching the complex itself, backed up by an army of Scorpobots. As you can see on the image, it looks like that the final stage of the invasion from the outside forces is about to commence. I'm not sure what they want with the vaccine, but we will need to guard the scientists with our lives. Am I to count on your all's assistance as we fend off this final assault?
Of course.
Naturally.
With my new abilities, I have no doubt we can defeat them.
Excelsior.
Does this facility have any defensive capabilities?
Yes, we have basic lasers and should be able to hold them back for a little bit. We've fended off waves of them before, but this crab robot, I'm not sure what kind of weaponry and attacks it may have. So our shields can hold for at least the beginning salvo, but an extended one would probably fail.
Can we bring the crab robot up on the view screen?
And you like press a button and it zooms in. It's very fuzzy and grainy because it was just pre-shot footage. They're just enlarging.
Right. Can I determine from just by looking at it, like, what weak points it might have?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you are a technician. You do know your way around machines and such things. So go ahead and roll me. Will this be more a spout lore or discern realities? What do y'all think?
I think discern realities.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and roll me a plus wisdom.
Okay.
Unless you're wanting to tell me exactly what you know about giant crab robots, which would be...
Well, it's an 8.
Okay, 8's not bad. You're going to get
Yeah.
one question off the discern realities list. So
Okay.
Do you have that basic moves PDF open?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on, there it is. How about who's really in control here?
Ooh, that is a good question. So you're zooming in and you're looking and you're like, all right, weak points with the joints. And then the camera pans up and you all hear Lieutenant Keegan gasp. And so, of course, you stop, move the camera back, and focus on the cockpit area. And what you see makes your blood run cold. The person piloting this giant crab robot is none other than the notorious Apolian, the Emperor of Mars.
Should have known he was behind this.
Indeed. My old nemesis. Of course he would come here to spite me and my family line yet again. I'll never forget how he slaughtered my family and conquered and enslaved all of my kinsmen.
Whoa. I just get on the intercom to Captain Jerk and I inform him that the Emperor of Mars is here in a crab robot.
This puts us in a delicate and tough situation. We cannot directly attack him due to his diplomatic immunity, even though he is taking aggressive action. Therefore, all of you, if you wish to participate, will need to keep your FOP affiliation a secret in order to make sure that you do not cause a galactic diplomatic incident.
Understood, Captain.
Jerk out. We will provide what we can. And of course, that means probably more red shirts. But
okay. Hey, at least it's red shirts, right? It's something.
Yep, it's something.
In the next shot, we all just have these flimsy patches over our insignia. Yes, now we're disguised.
Of course, no one could ever penetrate that. And so, you all have a few moments before.
I'm wearing a headband over my ears.
Yes. And so you all have a few moments before Apolian arrives and attacks you all. What what is your plan for dealing with this horde of Scorpobots and this giant crab robot, which Chris, you have successfully identified this thing as a Omega Crab 9000X system, battle exoskeleton.
Okay. Do I know anything else about that, or no?
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a spout lore now. Roll plus int.
Okay.
If you can identify a weakness or a hatch, I might be able to get us, or at least some of us, over there.
Oh, it would be nice if I could, but I rolled a 6. It's not great.
Cool.
Can I help her out?
No, but you can tell me about what you're telling her that she's going to believe to be true, because you totally, of course, have sold something very similar to this to someone once.
Right. I don't think I've actually. I think what I say to her is, Pris, I think I used to sell these things. In fact, I may have sold that one to that emperor, although I don't think I'm telling her that. But
Probably should.
I've dealt with the Emperor of Mars and his crab robot and scorpion robot squads, and I'm fairly certain that there's a vulnerability under the left rear right fourth leg. It's where the escape hatch pops out in case of the self-destruct, and it's always a little bit loose. It's supposed to be armored to prevent anyone from getting in from the outside, but you can get in from there.
The left, rear, right, front leg, huh? That sounds logical to me.
The left, rear, right, front leg. Exactly the words I used.
Yep.
These crab robots are very confused. The schematics are always very confusing, but there's a right front. There are several sets of rear legs, and there's the front ones and the back ones. Just you know how this works. Omega Crab 9000Xs.
Can I? So based on this information, can I direct, I guess, any technicians that are here? I mean, I'm a technician. I meant like not capital T, but people working the defense weapons to aim for the quote right front left rear leg. I don't even remember what it was now. It gets lost in translation.
3-dimensional orientation is tough for races that don't have access to space-time.
So I tell them to fire there.
Yep. And so the big guns open up, and there's booming sounds and dust, and then the dust settles, and the Omega Crab 9000X comes out of the dirt and just slams one of its crab claws directly into one of the big guns and just smashes it to smithereens. And there's a loud explosion. We cut, and there's a bunch of red shirts that go flying as something explodes.
Oh dear, is that a 9000X? I thought it was a 9000Y.
And so this Omega Crab is at the door. And you all are there as it is pounding into the walls, trying to break them down so the horde of Scorpobots can just swarm in and take over this installation. What are you all doing?
I've been spending some time speaking with this cougar, and I think I can convince it to work together to disable the crab together.
Okay. And oddly enough, that cage with the cougar is in the room with you all, just for no reason. So
it's important to science.
Very important.
It's good, because I'm totally going to teleport the bad guy into that cage.
Okay.
So go ahead and tell me how you're convincing this cougar to work with you.
Oh boy.
Using this psychic link that you both now share.
Yes. Is there a way I can make an argument for this being Constitution?
Does anyone else want to throw in how you could see Constitution coming in here?
That's probably charisma, isn't it?
I mean, you wrestle it into submission.
Yes, that's true. That
Whatever damage you take.
The cougar
Or you merge with
specimen. The cougar specimen is very obedient to displays of dominance.
Okay. Roll the fight danger plus charisma to wrestle a cougar.
Oh my god.
I feel like we've done this before, but roll it.
That's a 7.
All right, a 7. So you are wrestling with this cougar, and you're going to assert dominance on it. You are going to get what you want. But the cougar is going to take some big chunks out of you. So roll yourself a die 10, no armor, is for the damage you're going to take.
That is a 10.
Oh. So you're going to take, it gets a big bite on you, but that big bite allows you to like wrap yourself around it, slam it down, and show that you got me in what you thought was your death grip. No, you're working for me now. So, all right, add +1 cougar to your inventory. You may utilize this space cougar in a way, shape, and form you see fit. All right. What about for the rest of y'all? What is your plan of attack?
So, Orion, can you fold space to get me and the cougar out there, outside, and we can climb onto the...
Like you all are at one of those convenient doors that leads outside.
Yeah. Well, we're on the battlements.
Yeah, you're on the battlements. The crab robot's right there. You could probably action leap to it, no problem.
But yeah, I think I'm going to try. Is there any way I can see into it, like through a window?
You're trying, but you can't really get a good beat on it. The window is more at chest level, so it's underneath the battlements.
You know what? I'm going to use one of my star charges to try to blast a hole.
Oh, okay then.
So yeah, the sword like I actually like fold the sword over, and it's now a gun. Like this whole thing is basically just a hilt, and someone scratched the film, right? And so now the film is scratched in the shape of some sort of cannon. And I am going to try to volley and maybe puncture a hole in something. Maybe if I need assistance, the technician can tell me where the weak point is.
All right. Prish, you good with assisting to make a door in this wall of a crab? All right. So go ahead and roll me your assist roll. So you're going to roll plus int, just because, you're a machine person.
2D, right?
Yep. 2d6.
10.
All right. So, Orion, you got a +1, and no matter the danger, Pris, you are not sharing in that danger. So.
I think I rolled a 7. Yes. 7. I will choose to expend one of my star charges for the middle result.
All right. Tell me what this looks like on screen as you blast a hole in the side of the Omega Crab?
I think like there's a close up of a cardboard, like the model of the crab has a big logo on it that is Apollion's face,
Yep.
right? And then we switch to a scene that is just a cardboard, but it's got that same logo in a higher scale, a bigger scale, right?
Yep.
And then underneath it, someone basically lights a match, and so you see the parts start to glow and then burst into flames and sort of char a hole in it. And then we zoom back out, and someone's drilled a hole in the model.
Of course. So now you got a hole to the internal works of this Omega Crab, and I assume you're going to be folding space to get your crew over there.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and roll plus wisdom. Let's see.
That's better. That's a 10.
All right.
So when I actually do this portal thing, I do it well. I think that means it's basically we can all travel through it, and it'll last as long as I want it to.
Yep. So all of you, Fit, I assume you're going with them just because?
You're muted.
Or did you have other plans? You're on mute.
Yeah, no, I'm going with them.
All right. Excellent. Keeping the band together. I love it. So you all arrive inside the Omega Crab, and there are various pieces of electronic and blinking lights, and you have arrived in the actual control room, and there stands a proud 4-foot-tall Apollyon and his 2 robotic guardsmen, and he turns and goes, "I cannot believe you all have invaded my Omega Battle Crab. It is unbelievable that you all would deign to set your dirty feet in my presence. I will eliminate you all and ensure that I never have to see any of your faces again. How dare you stand against me? Minions, go forth and destroy them." And the robots, which look like those security androids, but now they've got like black and red on them instead of the white and blue armor from before, start marching towards you all. What are you going to do?
I will point my laser beam at Apollyon and say, "Call off your guards. We demand a truce."
All right, go ahead and roll to finding your charisma. Let's see if you can.
Crap.
That gets a weird look from Orion. What's this about a truce?
That's a 3.
That's a 3. So mark yourself an XP. And I think, this is good. I think this is going to be where he laughs at you and says, "I do not need a truce with your filthy kind. We have already made our own plans for the future." And from the shadows steps Lieutenant Keegan. Bum bum bum.
Oh my god.
And she throws a dirty, ugly look over at Fit and goes, "I knew. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who. No matter where I go, you filthy humans always, you filthy space elves always look down on my people. Well, it doesn't matter if I've got an ally with the devil himself. Apollyon has assured me that once we take these new battle drugs and apply them to our people, we will be able to wipe out your silly space elf civilization from the galactic record forever." And she takes a vial and pops it open and downs it. And of course, we have the sudden transformation sequence where she's like, "Ah!" and like bends down. And then what comes up is this giant, bulky, gorilla-looking creature with 2 antennae, duct tape on its head, and 2 pairs of arms underneath. But now it's like much bigger, much bulkier.
Is it actually 2 guys, one on top of the other guy's shoulders?
Yes. And a trench coat.
Well, now they do actually have full working arms.
Oh, yes. I mean, that's what the trench coat's for, so you can see that it's like, duh. And there's still the middle pair, which is flopping around, but now they got 4 arms. And they are rushing to attack you all. What are you all going to do with this new, sudden, and completely unexpected threat?
Can I try to? I'd like to use my fireworks to sort of detract and deflect this creature away from us.
Okay.
I think the idea is so I have these mini rockets in my bag of tricks that I pull out, and what I think I want to do is just like surreptitiously while they're focused on charging us, shoot the mini rockets out to make it sound like there's an attack coming, like an explosion coming from the outside, another force. I think I shout as I do it, "Thank you, Captain Jerk, for sending another force to help defend us."
Okay. Roll me a Defy Danger Charisma. You can totally try to pull a quick one on them. Or actually, this would be more Con Artist, I think. You're trying to talk yourself out of.
I mean, it's the same. It's the same roll, just different results.
Yep.
But,
go ahead.
Yeah, definitely trying to give it to someone I'm more powerful than I actually am.
Yep.
And that is an 8.
All right.
Oh, +1 for misdirection, so 9.
Okay.
Same thing.
All right. So I think what's going to happen is they're going to think that you're actually in charge here. So you've distracted them, but when they realize that it's a fake, they're going to be like locking down on you. So that's going to be the future bad setup. So let's see. Pothos, what are you doing, you and your space cougar companion, as you realize you've got a moment due to this distraction created by Fit?
I would like to use my vines to tangle up the ape person's arms.
Okay. So go ahead, and this is going to be a contest of strength. So roll me Defy Danger Strength.
Oh my goodness,
You're
there's so
trying to
many
restrain
dice.
them.
Okay. That is not great. That is a 6.
A 6. Mark an
Oh,
XP.
no, that's a 5. Even worse.
Okay, mark yourself an XP. You're about to earn it. So you throw your vines forward, and we see them start wrapping up and entangling. And they wrap up the 2 of its arms perfectly, just fine. And then you remember, oh shit, it's got 4. And then you're being lifted up, and you get tossed against the bulkhead. Go ahead and take a die 6 worth of damage.
Oh boy. Four.
All right.
Not in great shape, guys.
Yeah, you're looking a little rough around the edges. Orion, what are you doing as this chaos starts going on?
Well, this is a sci-fi show, but I am more advanced and with a more elegant sword weapon, and I've got 2 robots with space halberds, and so I am setting myself in front of them to duel both robots.
All right. So so go and give me a hack and slash, and let's see how that goes on. You've got your origami universe, so you can totally like be fighting one and then zip around and fight another.
Yeah. I think like literally like one comes up behind me and like a blade comes out to parry from behind me, and I'm sticking it over here.
Yep.
Sort of. Ooh. That is a total of 5.
A 5. Cool. Mark an XP. So you are battling these halberd robots, and like you are parry, 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 and all this chaos is going on. Like all these big threats are there. No one's really noticed what Apolian is doing, and that's when Pris, you haven't realized it, but suddenly Apolian is on your back, and he is like trying to pull at your foil clothes to get at your secret back access control panel to manipulate you. What are you going to do about this?
No. It's saw time.
Okay. It's saw time. So roll
I deploy the saw, which is like my hand folds back. It's basically the fake hand falls off the arm. And looks like a cardboard spray painted silver saw pops out.
Yep. And we play that stock sound effect of zzz.
Yep.
So go ahead and give me a he's on your back, but you're an android, so I'm assuming you can like flip your arm all the way around, no problem.
Yeah.
All right.
Joints are not an issue.
Yep. So go ahead and roll me a hack and slash.
Okay. Oh my gosh. It's going to be awful.
It is.
It's going to be like a 4.
Oof. All right. Mark yourself an XP. You are down on the ground. Apolian is a smart and crafty foe, and he has fought many an android before, and he has turned off your motor controls for a moment.
Ah, crap.
I know. This is not good. Oh, no. Fit. Your comrades are not doing well. There is chaos going on, and Apolian, the Emperor of Mars himself, is right in front of you, about to deactivate your caring and wonderful co-worker, comrade, Pris. What are you going to do?
I reach into my sleeve and pull out a very futuristic-looking throwing dagger. It's got some interesting little spikes hanging off of it. Maybe a little bit of scratch film along the blade to make it look like there's something interesting happening there. And I just throw it at the Emperor's face.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a volley.
That actually rolled. No, it didn't. No, that did. That's weird. Okay. That is an 11 plus 1 is a 12.
All right, a 12. So go ahead and roll me your damage.
That's 7.
7. Oof, that's big numbers. So he doesn't see this coming. He knows you're a big threat, but he's trying to take down this robot first. So this dagger jams into his shoulder, and he lets out this huge primal scream. And now he's looking at you, and he's got murder in his eyes. And he is running towards you, and he is pulling out his laser axe. Like he is going to just take you out. Orion, you are over there. You are battling both of these space halberd wielding robots, and everyone takes a moment when they hear that scream. It is big and loud and bellowy. What are you going to do about this situation? Are you going to focus more on the task at hand?
Did anything happen to me because of the failure I had earlier?
Yeah, it basically they had basically pinned you to the wall with their space halberds.
All right. I'm going to try to create a portal to intercept intersect this Ape-Polian and have him collide into my opponents.
All right. Roll me plus wisdom.
Into their knees. It's a 9.
A 9. So 7-9, the fold is unstable. Either only one person can pass through safely, or the fold is unsafe for some reason. Jim will tell you why. Let's see. I think it's going to be only one person. I'm just going to give it to you. It's only one person. So it pops open. Ape-Polian runs through it, pops out, slams into your robots, and then it closes shut. And you know that the space-time for some reason is a little weak in this area. So opening up more of these portals may cause some major problems if things go bad.
Okay.
Just giving you warning of future danger. So Pothos.
It's like a -1 ongoing.
No, just if there's a fail, you may accidentally create a black hole.
Okay.
Shit go down, yo.
Depends on if we have the budget.
Yeah. Pothos, you are not having a good day. You've been savaged by a space cougar. You've been thrown into a bulkhead. And now you've got this towering, drug-addled ape monster looming over you. What is your plan of attack here? How are you going to handle this?
So I'm stunned from hitting the bulkhead for a minute, and it looks like this ape is about to really deliver the crushing blow. But then the jaguar jumps in front of me and locks the ape with its hypnotic eyes.
And again, we have that overlay of wow, and like the space cougar's face over the ape alien's face, and they're locked in this battle of wills. And this is going to give you the time you need to put phase 2 of your plan into action.
And my phase 2 is for the first time in the entire episode, I draw my own energy sword.
Of course.
Because they really want to limit the amount of like hand burning the film they need to do.
Yes.
It's an expensive process.
Yeah. And I deliver a swipe across the ape's stomach.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me your damage. You've got a free and clear shot.
All right. What is my damage? Close to pierce. What do I roll for damage?
You're going to be rolling a die 8.
Okay. Let's... Come on. Oh, it's hidden. Let's find it. It's a 2.
A 2. All right.
Did you mention piercing?
Oh, yeah, it's 2 piercing.
Yep, close 2 piercing, which means it goes to the first 2 points of armor, which is good because that thick ape fur does provide armor, but this laser sword just slashes across Keegan's chest, and they're like, ah! And, they are not happy, but they are also lost a lot of those higher functions. They're working off of instinct, and this is fire and burning, and they are like rearing back. Chris, the control console is abandoned at the moment as everyone is in the fight right now.
That's great. However, can I move?
Yes, yeah, they just turned off your movement momentarily.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and stand on up and head on over to their console.
All right. What do you want to do with this crab bot that you've got at your disposal now?
Is there an internal security system?
Of course.
Okay. Can I switch the bogies on the security system from Ape-Polian to I mean, from us to 8 Polian. So the security system thinks that they're the intruders.
Oh, of course. Just you turn the dial, and it's
I
like
turn the dial from
from
one
monkey
side
face.
to the other.
For some reason the dial has like a Polian symbol and then the FOP symbol. So you just
Yeah, okay. I reverse the polarity of the security system.
Yep. Go ahead and roll me an operate machines on that, just to make sure that everything's going to go exactly as you want it to. This is kind of an unfamiliar robot, and the last time you got advice about it turned out to be wrong, terribly wrong.
I listened to someone I shouldn't have listened to.
I know.
8.
An 8. So 7 and 9 it runs, but choose 1. So let's see. All right. So the Space Halberd warriors are going to turn on 8 Polian and start fighting it. And the crab robot itself is going to turn and start fighting the scorpion bots on the outside. And so it's going to be like smushing and smashing them, which is great because it was about to bring a claw down on Dr. Merrimack. And then it pulls back and instead starts smashing scorpion bots. The downside of this is that the scorpion bots are now like crawling all over the crab robot and trying to cut it apart and pierce it. So this is going to create an issue here shortly as like they start pouring in and trying to destroy the giant robot where you all are standing. But for right now, things are good. 8 Polian is fighting these. Fit, you can hear the alarms going off now, and you can see that Lieutenant Keegan has like fallen back and is like, just they are in pain and hurting, and this has given you an opening to reap your sweet, sweet vengeance upon this person who would turn against you. What are you going to do?
So, I think what I do is, and I am a vengeful person, by the way. I think what I do is was she carrying anything significant, like I don't know, something that might control the base's security, a remote device, something like that?
They seem to have a belt with some pocket pouches on it. Yeah.
So I think what I want to do is I want to walk over there, get down close in her face, and sort of whisper to her. Do we know what her did you give a name to her alien race, to her
the white apes of Mars.
Right. It's not about Martian apes or space elves. It's just about who's on top. And as I'm sort of like, hovering over her face, and I sort of just stab her in the kidneys and rifle through her pockets. Very, very. And it's not, sorry, that was maybe too graphic. I apologize. Stab her in the side, and rifle through her pockets, and try to do it kind of subtly.
All right. Go ahead and roll your sleight of hand.
I'm rolling very well today. I think I have all of. I think I have all of your good rolls.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is a 10.
Okay. So
sorry, Pothos. I've just taken all the high numbers.
Yeah. So Pothos, like you think you did, like originally you didn't think you did really a lot to Keegan, but then like you see Fit go over and like lean down, and then he looks up and he's like, "Oh, she's dead. Good job, Pothos." And so you don't notice the laser dagger stick that's been stabbed in her vital parts, and you don't notice him pocketing like basically everything out of her belt. Like just, oh, Keegan had a belt with a bunch of stuff on it. I thought that was Fitz. Like he's been wearing it the entire time. You swear. Just masterful. And speaking of which, Polian is fighting the laser halberd guys, and he's doing pretty well against them. But he's not happy. He's been burned and hurt, and he's taken down one of them. But you got a shot at his exposed back. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to shoot my vines around him, but not to pull him back, but rather to propel myself forward onto his back. And then try and get an opportunity to hypnotize him.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me Defy Danger Dex.
It
says the last roll total was 9, so.
Yep.
Okay.
And my dex is 1, I think. So that's a 10.
All right. So Monkey's got you on his back. What are you going to do as you're like grappling onto him and wrapping him in your vines and everything?
I basically try to in this struggle, I climb around until I'm like facing him. Mm-hmm. And I'm in a very precarious position, but I'm going to try to basically face to face hypnotize him.
Okay.
And we get that over the screen. Hypnosis dies.
This is going to be rough. He's got a big ego and a lot of self. Roll me a Defy Danger. I'm sorry, Defy Danger Charisma on this one.
Okay. Oh, that's a 9.
All right. So you've got him and you've stunned him momentarily. And you are like locked and holding his gaze, but you have to sit there holding it as well. So you both are just locked in this stare down. Pris, you're the space cop, aren't you?
I am the space cop.
There's a lawbreaker here. What are you going to do?
Okay. I walk over to them. I pull out my space handcuffs. They're just handcuffs.
Yep.
And then I handcuff Apolian.
Yep. And you have 3 pairs of handcuffs because he has 6 arms.
Yeah. I handcuff all of his arms.
Yep.
And then I handcuff all of the arms together.
4
pairs of handcuffs total.
Yep.
And then my laser comes out instead of my saw. And I say, you're under arrest, Apolian, for crimes against science.
Science crimes. Definitely the worst crimes. And you have captured Apolian. There's only one thing left to deal with. The fact that this crab robot is going down and going down hard.
Right.
Orion, you can see the battlements from through the hole. And you know you've got a split second. But you also know that all this warping around has messed with the space-time in this area. What are you going to do?
Actually, well, the first portal that got us to here was as long as I needed it. But I guess because everything that's happened, it's sort of changed the nature. But still, any place but here sounds like a good idea.
All right. I'll go ahead and say that the first portal opened, but the problem is it anchors in that area. The crab robots moved a bit.
Oh.
So you can see that portal exactly still open where it was. Oh, actually, I like that. The crab robot has moved around, so you can see it and you could jump to it. So you can try opening a new one to make it here with you all, or you can get everyone to leap over.
I like that.
I like that too.
I think
dramatic escape time.
Actually, we're gonna shoot the grappling hook from the crab robot through the portal floating in space and through the portal in the facility into some wall, and deploy zip line handle. Zip line over my sword.
Okay.
And follow me.
All right. So I want you to make a Defy Dex roll for everyone. If you 10 plus, everyone gets across safe. Otherwise, we're going to have to start making some decisions on who's going to have to find some alternate methods.
Can we assist?
So you said it before the results. So Jen, go ahead and roll that assist. This is going to be very important.
What do I roll for this?
You're going to roll 2 dice 6, and you're going to tell me how you're assisting, and that'll let me know what you should be adding.
Okay.
So tell me how you're trying to assist him. Are you holding it steady? Are you throwing people across with a push?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to wrap everyone and push them at the same time.
Are we? Is this nearing the final scene?
Yeah, this is pretty much the final scene.
Frankly, I like the idea that we end up on an alien planet or somewhere we didn't expect to be, and find out next time.
Okay. What do you all think about that? Do you want to let the 6 stand and make it so you all end up in a strange new place in space-time?
Yeah.
The season finale. They don't know where to go with it after this.
And there's a T-Rex cresting the
yeah,
horizon.
they're banking on more big budget.
Absolutely. Next episode, I can really lead into that, Dr. Smith Lost in Space vibe.
Yeah.
All right.
The Jaguar comes with us because they have this whole plan of merchandising.
Right.
But then it just never shows up again.
You couldn't get the animal permits any further.
No.
Price went up for the permits.
Yep.
Legal got in touch, was like, no.
All right. So let's go with our little epilogue here. Captain's log, stardate 65. The crew of the Jupiter 9 has successfully saved the colony, and the vaccine to the dreaded Stargaze virus has been successfully manufactured. However, I have lost many valuable crew members. The only consolation is that they seem to have taken with them Apollyon, the dreaded Emperor of Mars. Even now, his people no longer have that monkey on their back.
Wow.
Perfect.
Yep. And so we cut away, and we go to another planet. Because all we saw of you all is you all racing for the portal, and then the Crabbot exploding in a massive fireball. And now we are on this planet, and there's a whoop, and all of you come out of this portal. And each of you, give me a quick detail about the scene all around you. Daniel.
I think it's definitely in the distance there's volcanoes and pterodactyls flying around the volcano,
Right.
and pouring smoke into the air.
Emily, give me a detail.
The ground is rumbling. There's like a huge earthquake happening.
Jen, detail.
We see a handful of people looking over rocks, and they've all got what looks to be some very colorful, like crummy faux fur that they're just wearing several coats. Some of them have some like patchy facial hair made out of the faux fur.
Jesse, give me a detail.
The terrain is clearly, for the most part, purple astroturf, with some darker purple rocks strewn about.
And so all of you look around at this strange location that is definitely not Complex Alpha of Vega 7. Instead, you see strange robotic dinosaurs flying in the distance, and you look, and these half android, half ape creatures are peering at you with their fashionably colored furs over the rocks. And a volcano is erupting and shooting lava down its slopes. And the camera pulls out, and you see yourselves all on this jungle. And down below at the bottom, it says Mars, 67,000 AD. Bum, bum, bum.
I bet, did we take Napoleon with us?
Yes.
He's
gonna
with
have
us.
a fun time.
Oh, yes. He's going to be
He's
gonna
under
be the nemesis.
Interesting.
All right. And that is the saga of the crew of the Jupiter 9. Thank you all so much for being here with me. Thank you all for making me have just so much fun with this. I hope you all have enjoyed.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, especially the discussion of effects. You know, I really like that.
Okay. And go ahead and I'll go through you all. Daniel, thank you for playing. If people want to find you online, where can they find you?
Basically G+. I have a Twitter and a Facebook presence, but it is minuscule. And Houston Gauntlet if you're in the area.
Yep. Emily, where can people find you online?
I am at Emma Loudly, EMI Loudly on Discord and Twitter, and that's basically it.
Okay. Jen.
You can find me on Twitter at StreetOverGen. You can find my artwork at streetovergen.com. And my actual play Marvel podcast is called Exiled Podcast.
Ooh.
That's at exiledpodcast.com.
All right. Jesse.
If you're looking for me, you can find me on Twitter at JesseAbe, or I can find you.
And as always, I am Farrell. I am the organizer of the Houston Gauntlet. So if you are in the Houston area, look us up on Meetup. And otherwise, you can find me online. My Twitter handle is RedMagus77. Otherwise, just look for me around on G+ or on the Gauntlet Slack. If you haven't signed up for the Patreon, you should get on that. We're all pretty awesome. Thank you all for playing. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and get some rest. Don't forget to take your space vitamin.
I nearly fell asleep during the last break. See you later.
I have half an hour before the next one. I can take a nap.
Woo, nap time.
Good night.
Thanks so much, everybody.
Thanks for playing. Good day.
Bye.